right, hello. I'm going to see if I can get this to make sure that it's working, and then we will dive on in. But yeah, hello everybody. Whether you're watching live, which I believe that it is exactly 0 people, or watching later, which will hopefully be, more than 0. So this is part 2. I'm Brianna. I'm working on creating a Learning Lab course. If you're not familiar with Learning Lab, some obligatory things to note. Lab.github.com. Learning Lab is a bot that our team works on at GitHub, really to make learning on GitHub a thing. So if you want to learn how to use GitHub, that is a great place to start. But also teaching it a lot of other things. It's not black. That's just my that's just me. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So Wednesday, when I live streamed the first time, I came up with this, picked the category of what exactly I wanted to talk about in this course, and came up with an outline. So I'm going to start with just going over that, and then hopefully in this next, however long I stay on here, I would like to turn this into a config file and actually start building a course. So we'll see. So what I'm trying to teach is tracing history in an older repository. So if you're a GitHub user, you may have seen, or been a part of a repository that has a lot of stuff from before you joined the project. And that can be a little bit hard to sift through, but you might need to for whatever reason. So that's what I want to teach in this Learning Lab. So step 0 before the course would exist, like before the user would do anything, there'd be a repository with many issues, many pull requests, long history, with different authors and branches, like a lot going on. That's kind of an important piece for this, so that, whenever if you're trying to learn anything, it's going to be easier to learn if it's in context, right? I'm not going to try to learn to ride a bike while I'm inside. That's not in context. That's not when I would ride a bike. I would ride a bike outside, so that's where I should learn to ride a bike. Starting off strong with the examples. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So the project I don't know yet. Need to figure that out. And then I have the instructions for step 1. I'm going to upload all this stuff. This will exist soon in an open source thing, this repository. Hi, Hector. Thanks for joining. So I'm going to put this as an open source course, but it's not uploaded anywhere just yet. And I'm really excited because today I'm going to try to use the course builder user interface, which I've never done before. I've always jumped straight from this type of file into something like, a full config, just like straight into YAML. I'm not going to do that this time. So make sure that I am technically on the clock. Make sure, okay, all good there. I'm not procrastinating because I'm trying something new. That's not what we're seeing happen. In case you were curious, I'm going to turn off my dark reader here. So create a course. You'll see this will create a new course repositories for you. So this is what I want to do because I do not have a course repository yet. I just have an idea and kind of a rough outline. If I already had a course repository, so if I didn't want to use the course building UI, I could, Windows open. I could go straight to YAML and then import that course into Learning Lab. I'm not going to do that. Owner, I'm going to put this under GitHub training. That's where all of our GitHub Learning Lab courses are. So you can have a course under your user account or under an organization account. And since Hector's in the chat, I'm sure he will let me know if that's not what I should be doing, but I think it'll be fine. I'm going to title this course something relevant. So it's about context and learning about, finding things in an older repository. Let's see, what did I call it before? Before I called it tracing history in an older repository. Let's start there. That seems like accurate. Let's just say working in large repositories, repos. Well, working in large repos, great. Working in large repositories. Okay, so I think this is like the plain text human title, and then that will automatically translate into like what the YAML file is going to use. A description, this I can come back to, right? This isn't the final draft yet, that's okay. Something exciting is going on, I'm not sure if you can hear the sirens. Hector says in chat that this starts as a draft, so it's okay that it's not perfect. My description is going to be edited later, so it doesn't have to be perfect. This course is meant to teach skills for working in a larger, older repository with others. Great, we'll start there. I will want this to be public. Let me think through this. I want it to be public. It starts as a draft. So I'm gonna leave it as a public course as a draft. Sometimes I might try to do it in private because then I could publish it privately and have other GitHub people try it that are not members of, admins of this GitHub training. I'm gonna do public. I can always switch it later. Create course. All right. Let's think. We'll see what it brings me to next. I know it's going to create these 2 new repositories, but I'm very excited to see what happens. The anticipation is killing me. We'll see how long this goes for. I was working with some other people who are creating Learning Lab courses, and they mentioned that this page stuck around for a while for them sometimes. So we'll see if I have the same experience. I know with the lag factor, we might both be watching for this to load, despite the fact that there's like a 30-second lag or something. So Hector, if you're hearing this and this page is still on here, you should let me know what to do. So my impatient self, knowing the path I already know about just creating a course repository, I'm very tempted to go do that. But I think it is an important experience for me to go through the course builder user interface, so I'm going to be patient. Going to be very patient. Okay, I see Hector says in chat, I noticed the front end doesn't update, but the course and repo do get created sometimes. Maybe check in a new window. And he says sometimes. Okay, great advice. I will check in a new window. So I'm opening a new window. I'm going to go to my organizations page, GitHub training. Just click that in the URL. And I'm going to go to the dashboard. So courses, you can see all the courses. And wanting to find my new one, working in large repositories. Okay, so here it is, created 2 minutes ago, v1.0, great. So I'm gonna click that. Now it's not putting me on the course builder page yet, but that's fine. So thank you for the tip, Hector. I'm going to exit out of this other page that's kind of hung up, and I'm gonna click on edit course here. Cool, so this is the beautiful course builder user interface. So we see the title is slurped automatically, working in large repositories. Tagline I need to edit. Description is what I typed in. These are the new repository templates that were created. Before, so this is some automatic stuff. I might want to change this. There's a before issue created and then the first step. Okay, so this, you might notice, is a little similar. Let me make this a bit smaller, or to the side at least. So this is, ooh, that's not cute. This is a little bit similar to what I had created in my own outline. So we see this before section here. That's what I had written here as a step 0. So this, in my own outline, I see this many issues and pull requests, old and new. That is going to have to do with the template repository. So I'm going to just take some notes here. So the template repository needs lots of history, lots of branches, and then in the before step, I'm going to need to create the pull requests. So the template repository is where all the Git data comes from in terms of a commit, lots of commits branches, but the pull requests are not get data. Those are GitHub. So those need to be created with these actions, with these events. So that's a note there. So I'm going to actually, let's think. I'm really excited to dive into the course builder, but I also, practically speaking, need that template repository to have something going on before I can really practice. So I guess I'll start there. So I'm going to find, so github.com/GitHub training / I need to find what, let's see, what was this called? It was called Working in Large Repositories template. That's what was automatically created. So I'm going to go there, and it should be blank. But I'm going to, I need to give that some history. So let's see, giving this some history. This will be, and this is, I can see why Hector always thinks about what the project is going to be earlier than I do, because if I knew what the project was, I could make these branches. I need those branches there to make the pull request so that the context exists. Let's start with, let me look at what the first action I expect the user. So the first instruction is to find the issue. So I can do that without having the history yet. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to add some spaces here. It's probably not very good YAML syntax, but it helps me see. So there is going to be an issue created. So like I had written down in the notes I took, there's an instructions for step 1. So find the issue that's cross-linked automatically. So there's going to have to be 2 issues at least from the before step. So type create issue, welcome. We can see that welcome is going to be the title of the issue, new issue.md is what the content is going to be of the body of that issue. I'm going to need at least 2. So create issue, title, and you can see the steps over here. I could go in and do it this way too. Title, I'll call this one, let's see, I need to think about the context. So there's a cross-linked automatically from the instruction issue and close it, so we don't need multiple threads with the same thing. Okay, so they should have similar titles. Getting welcome to this repository. So we'll have them be similar so that it makes sense in context about which one to close. So type create issue, title, here we go, and body, we'll call this existing welcome.md. So the title will be seen by the user, and whatever is in this .md file will be seen by the user, but they don't see the title of the file here, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do add file, responses / existing welcome.md. And so this, right now, I'm just going to stick with some filler. I'm going to focus on just getting this functional at the very minimum thing and then building up from there in ways that make sense. So I'm going to say welcome, and then this is the issue that has duplicate information as the other welcome issue, and we will ask users to close this issue. So that's just so, when it's open, if it's open in the right place, I'll be able to tell that. Okay, and you can see, so seeing down here, 2 changed files. My changed files are the core config and the response existing welcome. Okay, so new issue, so this one, new issue.md, if you look at the config, this is another issue that's created right at the beginning, and I do want this one to be the real one. So this is where I'm going to say, hey, welcome, your first step is to see this other cross-link that exists. Okay, so welcome. This is the welcome. This is, again, just a message to myself for later. I can fill this in correctly later. I just want to keep my thoughts straight. This is the first welcome issue, and then I'm going to go back to my outline here. So the instructions for step 1. Find the issue that is cross-linked automatically. And so the syntax here that I'm going to start putting it in this syntax form now, just because it's going to make it easier for me. If you take a look at the docs on Learning Lab, there is one here for response best practices, and there's this template here. So title, some more detail, step whatever, activity description. So I'm going to try to be following that. So this is going to be step 1, find a cross-linked issue. And then keyboard activity, find and close the cross-linked issue. And then here I would put in, bullets of what exactly to do. But for this, it's enough for me right now. What I'm thinking about right now is, for this to work, there needs to be a cross-linked issue. So this other issue, existing welcome, will need to cross-link and reference this other new issue. So it's important that the new issue, this one is created first. Oops, config. So this one is created first, that's good, that's important. And then this create issue response, which is the existing welcome response rather, needs to, it's important that this issue references number 1. So that's going to be tricky. So for this reference to be correct, we're going to have to pay attention in this config section here. These issues, and I'm going to be opening a lot of issues, right? A lot of pull requests, a lot of issues to emulate some kind of noise. It's going to be really important to keep straight which number is which, because if the order switches in the order that they're opened, that's going to change the reference, and I need that to be accurate for the course to work. Well, I don't need it to be, but I would like it to. So this number 1 is how I'm going to reference that first issue that's created. Normally, if I were working locally, I wouldn't be as concerned about committing this. I would probably wait to commit it a little bit longer, but I'm a little nervous that the UI is not going to work or not going to save it for no reason other than, we've all been there. This isn't because that's happened to me before with this UI. I'm just a little nervous. So I'm going to say start, create files for before step issues. Okay, not the best, but it's been worse. And I'm committing to master. Again, not something I would typically do, but since this is a draft course, this is right at the beginning. This is the option I have in the course builder. I think in other, so up here I can choose a different branch. But for now, I'm just going to stay in master until I get through this first run of things. Okay, so instruction for step 1 is there. It's like, hey, go find it and close it, which means the next thing, so I'm going to go to the config. I wonder if there's a way to just like make this right side of the screen go away. I don't think so. Okay, because I want to make this split screen, and I can't just make that go away. I'll just do this. I'll make it bigger and then just switch the sides that I'm looking at it on. Okay. Ah! Why? It's not what I want? Oh man. Okay. Well, no, I won't do that, I suppose. There we go. Okay. So the next steps, the way that I like to organize this is here I'll do like comment out step 1 and then describe what's going on. Close the linked issue just for myself so that I can keep everything straight. So the title is going to be a description, so close the linked issue. And then the description also is a description, just a little bit more detailed. Let's see, I can't scroll. It doesn't scroll when I move my mouse over. Let's see. Close the issue that is cross-linked in the welcome issue. It doesn't, we can update that later. And the event that I'm listening for is a closed, issues.closed probably, something like that. Let's go look. So I'm going to go to the events and payloads of the REST API, and it is an issue event. And it's going to be issues.closed. Okay, I think that's right. And then the link is going to be repo URL /issues/ so the link, what this is if you're taking the course on Learning Lab and you see there's a little like it shows out these steps that you have, and then you can like click continue here, and it's a little green button, and it'll take you directly to the step on your GitHub repository. This is where that is written out. So I need to decide if I want this to be to the issue with the directions or the issue with the, yeah, I want it to be the issue with the directions. So issues 1. That might change later, but right now that's issues 1. Actions is what the bot is going to do after that, like as a result of that. So as a result of that, I want to, let's see, I want to open a new issue with instructions. Okay. So I'm just going to pseudocode this, open new issue with instructions. And I'll make a file real quick and just, in an existing issue that has been a related issue or pull request, please find the related issue and cross-link the short description. Okay, so I need to create that new file. So responses, and I'm also going to change the name of this. I like to do these by step number. So this is open in step 1. It just helps so much when you're editing a course later. And if somebody else is editing the course, they don't know how you named the responses. They don't have they don't know the whole course as well as you do. This is meant to make it easier for everybody else to maintain it as well. So this is, I'm going to call it 01 because it happens in step 1. The other things I'll edit to be 00. And I'm going to call it find crosslink. That's fine. Let's see if I can edit the names of these. If I double click, I'm not seeing a way to change that. Okay, oh well, I'll change it later. I know I can do it locally. It's important that this issue, okay, so on crosslink, and what crosslink is gonna say is this. Crosslink, and this is gonna be step 2, so it's, even though it's posted in step 1, this is the instructions for step 2. Find the crosslink to the relevant other thing. You know, more detail later. Activity, and then we'll describe it, and then this is generally what I want the user to do. Oop, I clicked save as a matter of habit. So then in the config, I know that that exists now. So the type is to open new issue with instructions, and I'm just going to write in the name of the file. I wish that this would stay open a little bit longer, but it is okay. Responses 01 crosslink.md. So that I will actually only need this crosslink.md. That's just for me later when I go in and actually look at the syntax of this, then it'll be, I won't have to go searching for it. So I want to really do nothing. Let's see, do I want to do anything else? So there was a welcome issue. There was another issue. They found the other issue, they closed it. I need a comment in that. Comment in, do I want to comment in both issue? Welcome issue. Let's do both. Let's just do both to be safe. Welcome issues pointing to next steps. So since my next steps are in a brand new issue, that user's not going to know how to get there unless I tell them where to go. Especially in this case, because there's so many other things going on. So comment in both welcome issues pointing to next steps. I'm also going to need a response file there. So I'll say 01, we'll call it next steps.md. Oops, oh no. I want to rename next. Then here, I don't need a title. So I'm not really giving instructions here. This is just your next steps can be found, and then I'll put a link here. I'll do repo URL, probably. I'll get into the details of that later. So there's a way that we can use some we can be really cute here and have it cross-link automatically to the right place. And that's what we're going to want to do. But for now, I don't need to get into that level of detail. I just want to remember, you know, the general form first, and I can come into that later. 01 next steps.md. Okay. So I think that's all I want to do. I just want to close, they close the linked issue, and then I open a new issue with instructions and I point to that place. Great. Okay. Woohoo. So then step 2. What's step 2? In fact, I'm actually going to put all this, I'm just going to copy what I have right here in my outline into here, and then we don't need to worry about it anymore. Okay. So step 2 well, I do want all this other stuff. I'm gonna copy this title. After all of these steps, I'm just gonna copy the syntax so that I have it, so I don't miss any of these important first fields. I'll comment out that. Oops. Come back. Okay. Step 4, step 5 here. Just so that I don't forget it. And this way I don't have to keep going back and forth. Okay. So step 1 is like check, like it's done enough. It's fully not even close to being functional right now. But I'm not as worried about that. I like to do it kind of in steps. Like I had my general outline of what I wanted the user to do in the bot. Now I'm kind of scaffolding that into these this config. So step 2, title, close the link. Oh, that's not going to be the same. So the title here, in fact, I'm actually going to copy this description directly. Close the link, or let's see, search issues and pull requests for different specs and then post cross-link with at least some context. Okay, so that is going to get edited before I make this something people will take, but it gets the point across for me as the author right now. Search and cross-link to an issue. Okay, great. And then event is going to be issue comment.created. And then link where I want them to go to. I don't know about this yet. I'm just going to keep this as repo URL right now because I just don't know. So actions, I want to validate. Let's see, I'm just getting the type syntax set up. Type, validate that the comment references the correct issue, so I will want to do that. I am going to want to validate that it has some kind of description. I talked about that yesterday. That's going to be tricky, but it's fine. It's a problem for another time. This is weird. And I want to give information for next steps. Okay, so new comment, so this will be a respond. And I want to respond with, and then, so here is the information for the next step. So since this is the actual instructions, this is the point where I'm going to make another file real quick. So add file responses, and since this is in step 2, I'll O2 underscore find commit.md, and then here I'm just gonna, oops, didn't copy what I thought it had copied. Then I'm going to copy this, and then I think I'm going to commit this, and I'm going to clone it. I'm going to work on it locally because I'm going to do that. That's what's going to happen. Okay, working out files and steps. That's what's going to happen. That's a commit message right now. It's not the commit message that we dream of, but it's a commit message that I'm able to write. A new commit was added since you started editing. What does that mean? I'm really scared. I'm going to create a branch because I don't want to lose that work. Maybe it'll let me do this. Oh gosh. Okay, let me go to the repository and see what I can find. No, let me just look. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, so this has, okay, so push the branch. Okay, so I can do whatever I'm gonna clone it locally, is what I'm gonna do. No, don't use SSH. Okie dokie, so I'm gonna open up my handy dandy terminal. I am keeping this in a place called live stream, because that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to clone this. Okay. And so then I'm going to cd into this repository. I see this other branch. So I'm going to get checkout new responses so that I have it locally. And I'm just going to merge it into master so that I have everything here. Great. And then I'm going to open this up in Visual Studio Code because I'm just a little bit more comfortable. Wait, why? Why do you not have everything from the new responses? It says, oh no, oh no, it's gone. That's okay. It's fine, everything's fine. I'm not sad at all. Everything's fine. Okay, I'm going to delete this branch that was futile. Wait, why do you say you have one more commit though? What does that commit? CD new responses. No, not CD, get checkout. I do that constantly. Checkout, new responses, and look at my repository. Okay, yeah, no, they're not here. You're not here. Okay, so what's going on? What's going on? Create new version of GitHub training work. Why did that happen? Create files for before step issues. Okay. Okay, so I did that. Okay, so it has the first one I did, but it doesn't have the second one I did. Okay, I'm gonna check out to master. My branch is head of master because it's the other one. I'm gonna just pull, which doesn't make any sense, but that doesn't make sense anymore. Let's look here. Da 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 da. Okay, so it did not capture those things. Hector is sending a heart in chat. Thank you, Hector. It's okay. You know what? It's gonna be fine. But I am gonna delete this branch. Didn't help me any. That's what I get for using branches. I am going to also just exit out of this because it hurt me, hurt my heart a little bit. And I'm gonna keep my focus tuned in to one thing, which is fine. I'm also gonna rename these, so I'm gonna open this up on the right-hand side, opens this side. So here's, that's not the right file. I think it's the right idea. Open to the side. Okay, so I've got the config here. I'm just gonna keep that up in Atom. I'm going to rename these first couple issues. Let's see, Hector says in chat, they're not in the UI, maybe copy paste them into your editor. Copy paste what? I had copy pasted them from my editor into the UI and they were gone. It refreshed, I think. Yeah, it refreshed when I tried to create the branch. It went away. They're gone. It's okay. It's good practice for me. So in the config, I'm gonna call this 01. I'm actually gonna call this welcome issue, and I'll call this 01 existing welcome. So new issue, oh, I wish it would open over here. New issue, we're gonna rename to 01 welcome issue. At least I'm gonna rename it because that's how I want it named. Oop, and I also want it to be 00, not 01. Hector, thank you for your support. Thank you for your support in chat. It made me feel better. Welcome issue, and then here, rename. I also have this whole thing recorded, so if I really cared that it was exactly the same, I could just watch it and do it again, but that's not gonna happen. So the existing welcome is correct. Welcome issue, welcome to this course. And then here I wanna put in some instructions. So I have this other thing here. So here are my other instructions. Oops, not that, please. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this again too. Step 1, find the cross-linked issue, find and close. And then keyboard activity. I'll put more detail on that activity later. And then here it's important that so this it didn't catch, it's important that this issue references the other welcome issue, like number 1. Okay, so we're there. We are there. Okay. Let me think, are there other things that needed to happen before, in the before step? Yes, but nothing that we can do right now. Okay. So this I'm gonna call, I'm just step 1, and then here I'm gonna do that thing where I'll copy this, just so I have it later, but I'm gonna copy pretty much all this other stuff from my other outline from before into here so that I just, then you have it. Then you have it. Hector, I think you're an Arrested Development fan. Then you have it. Silly. Okay, step 1, and then I'm gonna copy this and put this under all the steps. So step 1, and then it junks up the YAML, which is, it happens. So that's step 1, and then we'll call this step 2. And this is just so that it is all organisiert. It's in German for organized. Don't know why I did that. Nope. Nope. Yep. I think that's the right amount of indentation. And just like I was doing before, this is really my process. I know everybody has a different process when they're building things. Again, so I shouldn't look at chat, I get so distracted. I see Glenn said, hi Glenn, I'm glad you're back. I also see 3 people watching. Yay, so it's Glenn, Hector, and someone else, maybe my mom. You feel free to say hello, whoever you are, in chat. I'm very glad that you're here. Glenn, I'd be really curious to know like what is interesting to you about Learning Lab, because it's something that, you know, that our team is working on a lot, and we're really trying to grow more interest and community around it. So your thoughts would be very welcome. Glenn and mysterious third viewer / mom. Hector says, Arrested Development never really captured me, but I keep trying because it seems like I should like it. Good for you, I guess. I don't know if you don't owe it to anyone to like that show. Okay, so now I've copied that in. I'm gonna just, okay. So I'll get rid of this stuff so it doesn't screw anything up. The title is first step. The title is closed the linked issue is what I want the title to be. The description I'm gonna come back to. It's fine, and the event is issues closed. And you know what? I'm actually gonna come back to the link later too. That's an easy thing to change later. And it's gonna change because I'm gonna have a whole bunch of nonsense with pull requests open and all that good stuff. I don't actually want any issue to get closed. Wait, closed issue, relinks to new issue. Okay, so that needs to be a type. There needs to be a new create issue. I don't know if that's the right type or not, but that's fine. Create issue with, then make a new response file. 01, because it's under step 1, it's just my style. 01, the instructions are to do all this stuff. So I'm just gonna cut that from there, paste this in here. And this should be, oh, it didn't get named properly, I see. 01, oh, because I gave up on it, that's right. First, they find the cross-linked issue, they close it. The second thing they do is they cross-link to another issue. Okay. Cross-link. Okay. Once it's .md, then it formats it so I can read the whole thing. So that's really nice. I don't need to know that. In an existing issue or a related issue or pull request somewhere, please find the related issue with a short description. Okay. Oh, so maybe this says in an existing issue with a related issue. Does it matter that I don't think it matters that one is, that they're both already like with older context. One could be created right now. I don't think it matters really, but I'll do that now. So we will need to create a new, this is creating the new issue. Okay, this is a new issue. You can see how much I'm getting lost in my own thoughts here about like all the different stories, all the different things going on, which is why I really try to just get through the whole thing and like just keep one line all the way through, and then I can add detail later. Because if I were to go really into detail here, I would completely forget about the rest of the course. This is a new issue that has content similar to another issue. Or they could be pull requests. That's fine. This is step 2. I'm asking them to do step 2. And the activity. And then up here I'll have a title, again, like this is not ever final stuff. This format just really helps me as I go through and edit responses to keep everything straight. Don't know what the title's going to be yet. Something similar to another title. Actually, I want it to be about the content, about like the lesson I'm trying to teach, which is finding relevant history. There we go. Okay, that's O1 crosslink. I'm going to head back to the config and see no issues closed. The issue that is created is with O1 crosslink.md, and then I want to respond. Maybe respond as a comment in both welcome issues. So that's going to be two different actions, but that's fine. With, and then I'm going to create a response here too. O1 next step. .md, your next steps can be found, wherever. That's fine. Okay. So this is fine. That can go away. Step 2 is all about searching issues and pull requests for different. So this is about cross-linking. Create a cross-link. Description. Find the relevant or duplicate issue or pull request, and create a contextual cross-link. Righto. The event is not going to be issues assigned, as we discovered earlier. It's going to be issue comment created. Link we'll worry about later. And I'm actually just going to, let's just do this. I'm just going to, so this is the first type is going to be a gate. Wait, that's not right. The first type is going to be a gate that validates the comment. This is not the right syntax, just so you know that, so that everyone's on the same page. And there's going to be another gate that does this next part. And then this is going to be a response somewhere. Response with, and then it'll be a file, and we'll call it O2. Find commit. So I'm going to copy the rest of this stuff and create that file. Go to find commit.md. Finding commits. Step 3, find the commit, and then activity. Keyboard. Activity. Okay, this is what they're supposed to do. So I'm going back to here, so that is the right thing. Okay, and then I need to fill in here. I just noticed this with O1 next step. So the user closes a linked issue, we respond, pointing them where to go, and we're like, hey, create a crosslink. So they're like, okay, we'll do that. They create the crosslink, we're like, good job. We make sure that they do a good job, and then we respond, next, you need to find the commit. Nice, okay, cool, I'm happy with this. The title, so just filling in again here, the necessary fields like title and description, find a commit, with my notes from my outline before. So title, find a commit, description, event, issue, comment created, because it's kind of hard to validate like if they found something, unless we have them like say, hey, I found it. And then the actions, we want to validate. So anything that's validate, by the way, that's a gate. We'll get into the details of the syntax of those probably next time, which don't know when that's going to be right now, but we'll get into that. And the instructions for the next step, so that means it's going to need to be a response, respond with, and then I'll put all this other stuff here that was from my outline into a new file. I'll name the file O3 context.md, and then I'm just going to cut that out of there, create a new file, context.md. Okay. And then, staying true to my form, we'll do activity. Give it a step, because this is step 4. Are we at step 4 already? We sure are. Step 4, oops. Give more context, and then context. Again, this is going to be filled in with like content and descriptions and like teaching people what is going on. We're not there yet. We are not there yet. Respond with OP through context. Okay, so they respond, and okay. Okay, we're almost there. We're not almost there, but we're getting close. What I'm gonna do, because I'm feeling my brain like take a little nap, I'm gonna make a commit. I'm gonna make sure this is safe. This is all gonna be bunched together on master since it is a draft course right now, and it's not really like a first version. I'm not committing right now. Of course, committing is about telling a good history and a good story, but right now I'm committing to make sure that I don't have to do this work again, and that I don't lose it. So I'm going to add all of it and git commit, more work on outline and responses, and I'm going to push this bad boy up. Great. So this is not a functional course, right? This is a draft course that is completely not functional because nothing in this, well, not nothing. There's a lot of stuff in this that's not valid syntax, which is okay. That's not my goal right now, right? I'm getting there. So we're here. Finding info and context. So they've done that. So we're like, hey, find this context, and what exactly do we ask them to do? Who was involved? Can you please give me, ping, that's right. Ping me in the pull request where it was created. That was a good idea that I had yesterday. So we are gonna be waiting for why close issue? Oh, no. Issue comment dot created. Here. And then ping, mention Learning Lab, or mention whoever in the pull request where commit was created. Okay. So they have to find the pull request and include it, mention the teacher, and and the reviewer, and ask for clarification. I do like that. Okay. Mention Learning Lab and the author. Learning Lab, the author, and the reviewer. That's right. The reason I really like that isn't because I'm teaching them to, this is not measuring, can you @mention people? This is measuring, can you, to do this, you have to find who is the author and who is the reviewer. So with the course about finding context, they're going to say, that's hopefully going to connect some dots, right? That you can find anything that has been committed in a pull request. You can find who wrote it and who reviewed it. Context. Great. Okay. So then I'm just going to make that long description this short description. And then I'll make this one shorter. Call it find context. Issue comment created. Great. So here what we need to do is validate that the proper author and reviewer are mentioned. In fact, I don't think mentioning Learning Labs is even a good idea. We'll just do that. Find the okay. So we have to validate that. We also have to validate that it is in the right pull request. Validate that the comment is in the proper pull request. And then okay, so that's good. We'll check if they mention the author. Okay, great. And then these are the instructions for the next step. Lots of pull requests opened. We will need to improve this and are working on it. The build is failing. Maybe okay, what was I trying to say? Lots of pull requests opened. We need to improve this and are working on it, but the build is failing. Maybe they forgot to link it directly. find the pull request with a broken build, aka failing status, assign themselves to that pull request. What? What was I trying to say? What was I trying? Okay. So there are lots of pull requests opened. That is established and has nothing to do with this. We need to improve this and are working on it. Okay. What? I don't understand. The build is failing, so maybe they forgot to link to it. So there's a place that a build is failing, is what's important here. And we want them to assign themselves to that pull request. Okay. So the instructions are find the pull request with the failing build and assign yourself to it. Those are the real instructions, I presume. So I'm gonna again cut that, make this a new response file. 04 find broken build.md. Paste that in there. That's the activity instructions. Activity. And then this is going to be step 5. And then here, find the broken build. Okay. So we have got, they found the way to respond here. And we will respond in, so they just found context and they mentioned like, hey, they were asking for context from the reviewer and the author. Oh, maybe that's what I meant by that really long message I wrote. I was like why? Because we're going to be like, hey, can you give us more context? Maybe the author can be like, hey, this is what's going on. It has to do with this failing build. It's kind of a stretch, but we'll still try to, let's try it. Respond in the pull request where comment was made with 04 find broken build. Okay. Oofda. Okay, and then the next thing they do is, what is the next thing they do? Assign themselves. Yes, okay. Issues not assigned. Great, that's convenient. Instructions. Posted in the pull request once they assign themselves, emulate something. So we need to be like, here's what you need to do to fix it. Okay, fix the build. I'm thinking, does that really have anything to do with finding context? Yes, insofar as it adds a story. Like, why would anyone want to do this? Like, why would you want to find something based on a broken build? You could find it based on the broken build and then fix the build, and you could still see that the broken build happened. Sure. Fix the broken build. So it's not going to be issues not assigned. Wait, what? And the pull request that was made, find. Oh, yes, I'm ahead of myself, aren't I? Wait. So up here they find the context, they mention the author. And then we respond by saying, hey. Oh, so they already found the broken build in step 3? No. Step 4, they ping people. Step 5, they just assign themselves. Okay, I am getting ahead of myself. Assign yourself. PR with broken build. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Whew. That was a wild ride. Issues assigned, and then post in the pull request once they assign themselves. So then here, this is just going to be a respond with, and then I'll need to put this in a new file. We'll call it 05 fix build .md. Okay, new file 05 fix build.md. And then this context of where it is posted, it belongs in the config. And then here, emulate something like coming on the branch to fix it. Oh wait, or do we do that? Each pull request might have different instructions about what needs fixed. No, let's not do that. User commit based on these instructions. Okay. So here what we do is we're like, here's how instructions to fix the build. That's all we say. Okay. Whew. why does this matter in relation, this is a note to myself to make sure I come back to this, in relation to the content of this course. Step 6, fix the build, and then activity, and we'll have just like instructions to fix the build, which we don't know what it is yet because I don't have any ideas for a project yet. Okay, and then step 6, oops, is going to be what they actually do. So they fix the broken build. Yay! Fix the broken build. The event. So the event is going to be, this one's going to be fun because it's going to be like the push. And then we are going to need to do some kind of waiting until the build status. Except we're not going to have build statuses integrated. We're going to validate that they did what we said. And then we're going to send our own build status. Yeah, which I already had written out here. Great. And then we're gonna, let's just open up an issue with congratulations, because I think that's it. Wow, okay. Okay, so that is the whole like outline shell of the course. I mean, it really needs like a project to be focused on, and it really needs, like, because once there's a project, then we'll be able to have real commits, real pull requests. And before we have that, we really can't do anything. So I think next time, I'm going to call it, it's been about an hour, I'm going to call it for today. Next time it's going to be finding the right project and getting the template repository ready to go. Cool. Well, thank you, everybody. I don't know exactly when I'm going to do this again, but definitely next week sometime. Thank you all for joining. Let me know if you have any questions. You can actually mention me on GitHub, pretty much anywhere, at Brianna Marie, or on Twitter, at Brianna Marie 132. Thanks.